Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pert.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things we're talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Poet. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. He'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. They'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause it's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have
time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have arrived.
It's time.
First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand
First Contact Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio. Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome back to First Contact Radio. Glad you could be here today. It is the second day of September. Hope you had a good Labor Day if you were taking the day off for that. Today we see that we have arrived at the second quarter. Our moon sign is Sagittarius. Our sun sign is Virgo. So we have a sun sign that's an earth sign. Virgo is the representative. Tarot card association is the Hermit. It's all about the physical world, earth, the body, healing, helping others, shining the light for others to see, providing service. Sagittarius is all about fire, creativity, truthfulness. Sagittarius is the truth seeker. So we have this truthfulness, this fire underneath the physical, and these fire, this ideas are stimulating what the physical world is going to be like, how the physical is going to be approached, shared through ideas, through creativity. We have a trine that just took place within the hour between Jupiter expansion and Sagittarius. So Jupiter is the planet of Sagittarius. And here we have a nice, good, harmonious energy, a trine. And things are expanding, okay? That truthfulness. We want the truthfulness. We've experienced a lot of energy in our life. Now it's time for us to experience the truthfulness because the other way we're looking at isn't quite working. At 4:20 p.m. today, we have a moon sign is going to be at a lesson against a wounded healer. Chiron. Okay, learn that the healer inside of us, the wounded character inside of us, has the ability to heal. Because through being wounded and then healing himself, the wounded healer is no longer wounded, but is now able to heal. So we have a good lesson that's coming up later today. We'll figure that out about 4:20 p.m. And then Uranus and the moon sign Sagittarius are going to be in a nice, good trine shortly after that. Uranus is unexpected changes, sudden events, and that's a nice, good, positive aspect along with ideas. So maybe expect some surprises later on, some surprises in your thoughts, things maybe you didn't think about, some fiery, creative ideas. Just something later on, okay? So those are the characters that are involved today. Our numerology is a number 9. We've certainly seen this number before. Here's how we've arrived at the number 9. 9 plus the day 2 plus the year 2014 adds up to 18. The 9 plus 2 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 4. 1 plus 8 of 18 equals 9. So today is a 9. This is all according to the Gregorian calendar. If we were looking at another calendar system and we're using numerology for that, we would be finding a different number. But this is the system that we're using, the Gregorian calendar. It's one that even though we all didn't agree to use, it's all one that we are using now. So by agreement, it is time that we are looking at and building our world according to. Alright, so we see that our 9 right here, our Sagittarius right here is our current moon sign, and the sun sign is also up here at Virgo. So we've had a good look at Virgo. We've seen that. We've had a good look at Sagittarius. We've seen that. We just looked at Sagittarius yesterday. How about if we go take for a little refresher, let's look at that Hermit again. Okay, so when you see the Hermit, you're looking at the lantern, which is light. Light is information. It's being held high so the Hermit can show others. Shine the light high for others in the darkness so others can see. It is the color gray because gray is the intermediate between pairs of opposites. So it means that there's balance between what is going on in the world. The Hermit has learned the lessons of patience by going away in solitude. And this is the sign of Virgo. So with this Virgo energy around us, we have the Hermit shining the light high. We are the Hermit. We are the one who goes into solitude and learns and comes out and shines a light for others to see. And when we all become like this, we're all shining the light and helping each other. Just imagine the world that we have. Hebrew letter Yod means open hand. It's an earth symbol representing Virgo. Okay? That is the Hermit, the current moon phase. First quarter, 52% of the way full. Mayan are the sky tonight, the moon right here, Scorpio below it. Mayan Oracle, 8-tone day. 8 tones are called the galactic tones. This is just another way to look at time. It's based according to the Mayan calendar. Hand is the kin for today, the 8 hand, galactic hand, guided by the monkey. Magic. It's the wave spell of enlightenment, wave spell of the sun. The phrase for today is I harmonize in order to know, modeling healing. I seal the store of accomplishment with the galactic tone of integrity. I am guided by the power of magic. At space weather, our solar wind is 422.3 kilometers per second. Planetary K index is between a 2 and a 3. Coronal holes kind of moved away, but we are still in a place where we might be finding some solar wind hitting us. M-class flare possibility staying at 20%. X-class is at 1. Geomagnetic storm activity 15 in the low and 15 in the high. So things are quieting down out there. And on the Jewish calendar, today is 7 Elul. Okay, 7 Elul, that day that coordinates with today, the 2nd of September. And let's look at today's thought. Jewish unity. The first thing needed to fix this would be that the Jews should love each other and be united. And this can begin even without a planning committee and without funding. It can begin with you. Alright, and there you have it. There you have it. I think we all need to come together as opposed to just the Jewish community. We were looking at the Jewish calendar, so it was specifically related to that community. But in the world in general, all of us, if we were all to work out our differences, we'd be in a much different place, wouldn't we? A lot of possibilities in this world we live in. Tons of possibilities. Tons of possibilities. All right, UFO news is up next. Let's get to it.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
Thanks, Dirk. First sighting comes to us from San Antonio, Texas. This was from the 30th. New video of a UFO fleet flying across the sky above San Antonio. This was taken on the 30th, Saturday. Witness it in the videos, see a formation of what appears to be energy UFO balls traveling overhead. As you can see in the video, they appear to be high above the clouds. At first it seemed to hover on the clouds, pass underneath. I continued to film in as they seemed to be emitting some kind of glowing energy. At some point they began to travel out of sight. In my opinion, these objects were clearly no aircraft or satellite. Okay, there you go. San Antonio. Here we have a compilation of sightings for the month of August. Video itself is 1 minute and 56 seconds. It says most remarkable UFO sightings in August 2014. And we have over New York, and then we have the UK. And we've seen lots of these. There's a good one. Look at all those lights. Okay, and we go over here, and we've got Melbourne. Okay. And then we go over Houston. This was on the 12th. This one made a news report. Okay. There we go. And we go to Russia. This was on the 17th. There we go. Okay. And we go to Liverpool. Alright, and these are just some of the sightings that have occurred over the course of this month. We've seen lots of sightings. Links are available at firstcontactradio.com, so you can check them out. This is just a short list here of some of what we've seen. Alright, now we're going to jump over to Melbourne, or back over to Melbourne. Witness observe a UFO the night of Sunday the 31st. The object hovered in the sky over southeast Melbourne suburb of Carnegie for more than an hour, according to those who observed. The mysterious craft flashed multi-colored lights, which included red, green, blue, and different flickering patterns. It was reportedly seen by multiple eyewitnesses, including Tony Coronomilis, who recorded the object of the video. Another witness, Amy Hansen, also captured video of the UFO. Alright, very good. Let's move on to the next one here. 2 UFO sightings that are possibly connected over the skies of Long Island, New York. This story is about 2 interesting and perhaps related UFO sighting incidents on Long Island. The first sighting was about 10 p.m. Boston in North Babylon, New York, located in Suffolk County. Harvey, a local resident, was waking up his driveway that evening and perchance glanced up and observed 3 red dots. He tells us for more than 15 minutes he observed these objects several different times. They hovered, pulsated, moved slowly up and down and left to the right. They eventually faded out at times. Harvey said that the 3rd time this year he observed these objects. He said that these objects had been previously observed by him on April 20th and July 4th. When asked if the orbs could be Chinese lanterns, he simply replied, "I think not." Within the same 23 miles to the west of Nassau County, a resident of Westbury, New York, made a similar observation. It was about 10:50 p.m. and Dee had just taken the trash out. While she was outside, she decided to pick some grapes from a vine in her yard. As she finished up, she glanced up between her house and her neighbor's house looking for the big moon. That's when she noticed 4 dish-shaped orbs hovering fairly low in the sky. All were whitish or very pale tinges of blue in color, and the discs were traveling in a circular motion and were evenly spaced. She says that she watched them hovering and rotating for about 4 or 5 minutes and decided to run into the house to grab her camera. When she returned moments later, they were gone. She says she walked around to the house, scanned the sky looking for them, but they were nowhere to be found. She spent the next hour or so calling around trying to find out if anyone else had seen the objects. She even called the local television, asked the news desk if anyone had reported the UFO sighting. She was told no. Okay, very interesting out there in New York. Here we're going to go up to Mars, and you know how we have lots of images that are seen on Mars. Well, here's one that stands out, and with the coloring added to it, you could see it definitely takes on the image of something that we've seen here on Earth, doesn't it? Looks like one of these Egyptian statues standing a little alcove. I found this statue about 3 to 4 years ago, but came across this video talking about it. They colored the statue so you can see it better. This is really an interesting photo, and there's a color version available, but not sure where at the moment. You can clearly make out the Egyptian face, shoulders, hat, and body. They're also full of a lot of other anomalies in this photo. Okay. So, very interesting. Up on the Mars. Okay, there's we move in close. There. Okay, very much like that. Okay, interesting. Now, last piece here of the UFO news for today. This is a second piece of a story which I read first part last week. This is a Sirius mystery. Dagon and the Dogon, the book. Alright, there's the Ken Me. Herein we continue from part 1, considering the serious mystery behind the serious mystery. But it is not that which one may generally think. The Serious Mystery is a book first published by Robert G. Temple in 1976 AD. Its premise is ancient astronaut, or as the terms have been updated, ancient aliens, or actually in this case ancient extraterrestrial amphibians. What set Robert K. Temple on his path of researching the Dogon was the work of ethnographers Marcel Grial and Germain de Trion. Temple's theory was heavily based on the interpretation of their work. The point is, Grial and D'Artin worked among the Dogon from 1931 to 1952. Between 1946 and 1950, the Dogon head tribesmen unfolded to Graul and D'Artin the innermost secrets of their knowledge of astronomy. Much of this ancient lore is complex and obscure, as befits ancient legends, but certain specific facts stands out, particularly those concerning the star Sirius, with which their religion and culture is deeply concerned. The super-dense nature of white dwarfs was not realized until the 1920s, but the Dogon Sirius traditions are at least centuries old. A substantial bulk of the Sirius mystery consists of comparative, linguistic, and methodological scholarship, pointing out resemblances amongst Dogon, Egyptian, and Sumerian beliefs and symbols. Greek and Arab myths and words are considered to a lesser extent. Temple did not argue that the only way that the Dogon could have obtained what he understood to be accurate information on Sirius B was by contact with an advanced civilization. He considered alternative and plausible possibilities, such as very ancient, advanced, and lost civilization that was behind the sudden disappearance of advanced civilization in both Egypt and Sumeria. Isaac Asimov has been quoted by Temple as having said that he found no mistakes in the book, but Temple did not know that the reason for this, according to Asimov, was that he had found the book too impenetrable to read. This is noted because in his essay Dark Companion, found within Asimov's book Quasar Burning Bright, he says the Ridipath article editor, he is embarrassed by his stupidity in not specifying that his comment made only to get rid of him and to be polite, not to be quoted. I assure you I will never be caught that way again. As Asimov elucidated, Robert Temple on 3 different occasions by mail and phone attempted to get support from me, and I steadfastly refused. He sent me the manuscript, which I found unreadable. Finally, he asked me point blank if I could point out any errors in it, and paltry out of politeness, partly out of getting rid of him, and partly because I had been able to read very little of the book, so that the answer was true, I said that I could not point out any errors. He certainly did not have permission to use that statement as part of the promotion. I'll just have to be more careful hereafter. Arthur C. Clarke encouraged Temple's research, but opted for the modern influence theory. Dr. Philip Steffi did an in-depth analysis of the Dogon astronomical traditions and some serious astronomy in the Sirius mystery, which criticized the temple's book as inadequate and full of factual errors and misrepresentation of critical material. In 1998, Temple reestablished a book with the subtitle New Specific Evidence of Alien Contact 5,000 Years Ago. The book's reputation was first dented in 1999 when Lynn Picknett and Clive Prince published a Stargate conspiracy in which they alleged the Temple's thinking had been heavily influenced by his mentor, Arthur M. Young. Young was a fervent believer in the Council of Nine, a mysterious group of channeled entities that claimed to be the 9 creator gods of Egypt. The 9 became part of the UFO and New Age mythology, and many claimed to be in contact with them. The 9 also claimed to be extraterrestrial beings from the star Sirius. As for Temple's book, as Picnic and Prince have been able to show, Temple's arguments are often based on the erroneous readings of encyclopedia entries and misrepresentations of ancient Egyptian mythology. They conclude that the Temple was very keen to please his mentor, who believed in extraterrestrial beings from Sirius. In 1976, Robert Temple published the Sirius Mysteries. These claims were dealt with in an article in The Skeptical Inquirer. The Afro-Cenicist movement was revised and expanded these claims. Adams briefly presents current claims. The Dogon, with no apparent instruments at their disposal, appeared to have known these facts for at least 500 years. Okay, so interesting article. There's one more piece to it. I'll do that sometime in the near future, so something to look forward to. If you haven't caught the first part of the article, go back, check this one out. The link is there so you can look into it on your own from here. Okay, there you go. Next up, I'm going to jump away for a few moments here. I'll be back and we'll continue on with the Book of Enoch.
Another alien visitor claimed that his race had been looking in on us for centuries, and that they had in fact influenced the course of human history in some rather critical and startling ways.
Listen up. I am myself and I am someone else. Do you know what I mean? Wouldn't sound so crazy to you if you've seen what I've seen. Corridors of time, dimensions of space, traveling through the universe, from place to place. Don't arouse suspicion of a membrane gone insane. Everything is possible, just gotta see with an open mind. Winds of change are blowing through, sounds are in the air. A distant voice calls to me, I hear it everywhere. Communication from beyond, a message for this world. Cosmic signals sent to Earth. Beep, 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 beep. Don't arouse suspicion of a membrane gone insane. Everything is possible, just gotta see with an open mind. Is anybody listening to what is being said? Perhaps it's quite important, this message in my head. Heed the call, stand your ground, trust yourself. My Observation, that's my report. Don't arouse suspicion of a membrane gone insane. Everything is possible, just gotta see with an open mind.
All right. That was Observation. That video, we shot that when we did a show out at the Retro UFO Spaceship Convention out there in Landers, California. If you haven't had a chance to get out there, it's about where the Integratron is. Check that out, and I think you'll find it quite a fascinating place. All right, so over the last several weeks, on Tuesdays, we've been looking at the Book of Enoch, so we're going to continue on with that today. The reason I have chosen the Book of Enoch and some of the other books that we're choosing is because I believe that when we look at the world today, that we can look at it in a variety of ways. We can look at it and feel very confused by what we're seeing because there's so much violence, so much war, so much greed, so much hatred, and all the things. And it's the question that comes up and a lot of people ask is, how could this be? Why would God allow all of these bad things to happen to so many good people? And it's a very fair, very legitimate question, and doesn't make sense. And people are confused because there's religion that tells them one thing, and then they have other ideas from a lot of parts of life that go against religion, and it can get to be a very convoluted mess out there. What we need to do is we just need to kind of step back, and we need to realize that in life, when we look at life in general, and we look at everything that's going on in the world, everything has a script to it some way or another, some form of organization. So if we step back and we look at what's going on in the world, instead of being that close-up tunnel vision, if we step back, we start to see the world a little bit differently. We start to see that there is organization to it, that there's some sort of plan unfolding. And there's different types of plans. There's plans that humans are unfolding, and then there's plans that are more divine. They don't always match, or sometimes they do. Depends on if the humans are following, this divine plan, if they're following along with what they're guided to do. So we have this pull going on. We have this pull between these two energies. We're told that light and dark have been fighting back and forth with each other for eons, and that we're in the middle of this battle, this war of these angels. So if we look at all of these ideas and all of these stories that come in, we see that there is a script or a series of scripts or books that seem to outline what is taking place during this time period. The Book of Enoch, for me, is one of those books, along with the Book of Revelation and the Bible in general. Now, a lot of times people take the Bible serious, word for word, as if every single thing is exactly as it is. And if you do that, you might miss the point, because the point is not about taking it word for word. It's about reading between the lines to see what is the hidden meaning that's in there. What were the people going through? What were their experiences that they were feeling? And when we learn to read the Bible from that perspective, to look at the deeper meaning, we see the deeper meaning. We understand something a little bit more that is being told to us. When we begin to look and see how life is unfolding, how the story is unfolding that we're in, we could see that we're in a period of time where the confusion, the doubts, the fears that are in the world are causing us to do things that we wouldn't normally do, behave in different ways. And so all of this new behavior thrown into the mix of the old behavior is all kind of confusing and just adds to a mix of confusion that lend themselves to these times that we're in of great change. So, after all of that rambling, I don't know if any of that made sense, but here we are, and we're looking at what's going on in the world. How do we make sense of it? Well, the way we make sense of it is we have to understand that everything works and moves in cycles. So what's happening right now in the world has happened in the past. And when something comes full circle, we either have an opportunity to re-engage in the way in which we operated and worked with that energy in the past. And we can make adjustments to it and correct things, thereby learning something new. So if we pay attention to the books that are out, the books of prophecy, it will give us clues to what's going on, and we begin to understand. I think we do already because we're familiar enough with these books. We know that in these end times that there is an adversary that pops up. In this particular case, the adversary is the beast of Revelation. Another name would be the Antichrist. And as this beast, this dark energy, raises up, it's standing up against all of the good people of the earth. And the good people of the earth, they cower and they get fearful because they believe all of the lies that the beast is telling. And they believe the lies that are being told in the world, and they get caught up in the greed and the hunger and the doubts and the fears and all of this. They get caught up in it. This is what our books say. But when we keep reading the books, we find out that there is a hero or heroes that appear in these stories. It's God, Jesus, the angels. And in all cases, they make their appearance in order to help the people, because the people are being too oppressed by the powers that be. Powers that be that do have origins of this planet. So, what is some of these promises? We're looking at the Keys of Enoch, or the Book of Enoch here. What I always enjoy is this very first part. We go to chapter 1 because this explains it. The words of the blessing of Enoch, wherein he blesses the elect and the righteous who will be living in the days of tribulation. Okay, so this is the important part, tribulation. This is the time that we're all wondering, when is this going to occur? Tribulation. And during that time, what happens? All the wicked and the godless are removed. Okay, so that's a very important thing. The wicked and the godless are removed. So during this time period, we need to pay attention and understand that that exists. That phrase exists. If we look in the book of Revelation, we also see similar promises of the beast being defeated. So if we go from book to book and look at the prophecy, look at what has been left as the stories for our future, we find that there are going to be great challenges, but in the end, goodness wins. God wins. In the end, things are put back in order. And the good people, the people who are the chosen, the ones who have chosen to be good, okay, the ones who have chosen to follow God's will, the will of life, the will of love, the ones who have chosen to move on, well, they will move on into a better world. We'll all move on to a world. This is where this new heaven, this new earth idea comes in. This new dimensional reality that we're all moving to, that we've heard about for such a long time. So, great changes upon us. And I am asked quite a bit about how we get through this change, because there's so much going on. What do we do? What do we do? I hear a lot of people telling stories about losses of faith. How they used to believe in God more, but then something came up and they began to see the world and start questioning and doubting all the bad things that are going on and just losing their faith a bit. And okay, I understand. That's part of the process. But now that you've lost your faith, now it's time to strengthen it. Because this is also part of the process. Because we are all filled with a faith that is unbelievable, unstoppable. And when we allow this to shine bright, we find that the things that were holding us back no longer hold us back. And so we need to get stronger. We need to find affirmation in words that are out there, in books and prophecies that tell us what is ahead. That way it cuts through all of the BS that's out there about all of the bad stuff that's going on. Because right now, the amount of bad stuff that's being talked about is a bit overwhelming. And a lot of people are really being Well, they're tired of it. So, Keys of Enoch is one of these books that really shows us and tells us things that are important. So let me continue on here. We're in the second parable. For wisdom is poured out like water, and glory faileth not before him forevermore. For he is mighty in all the secrets of righteousness, and unrighteousness shall disappear as a shadow, and have no continuance. Because the elect one standeth before the Lord of spirits, and his glory is for ever and ever, and his might until all generations. And in him dwells the spirit of wisdom, and the spirit which gives insight, and the spirit of understanding and of might, and the spirit of those who have fallen asleep in righteousness. And he shall judge the secret things, and none shall be able to utter a lying word before him, for he is the elect one before the Lord of spirits, according to his good nature. And in those days a change shall take place for the holy and the elect, and the light of the day shall abide upon them, and the glory and honor shall turn to the holy. And on the day of affliction, on which evil shall have been treasured up against the sinners, and the righteous shall be victorious in the name of the Lord of spirits, and he will cause the others to witness, that they may repent and forgo the works of their hands, and they shall have no honor through the name of the Lord of spirits, yet through his name they shall be saved, and the Lord of spirits will have compassion in them, for his compassion is great, and he is righteous also in his judgment, and in the presence of his glory unrighteousness also shall not manifest itself. His judgment the unrepentant shall perish before him, and from henceforth I will have no mercy on them, say the Lord of spirits. And in those days shall the earth also give back that which has been entrusted to it, and Sheol shall also give back that which it has received, and hell shall give back that which it owes. For in those days the elect one shall arise, and shall choose the righteous and the holy from among them, and the day has drawn nigh that they should be saved. And the elect one shall in those days sit on my throne, and his mouth shall pour forth all of the secrets of wisdom and counsel. For the Lord of spirits hath given to him, and hath glorified him. And in those days shall the mountains leap like rams, and the hills also shall skip like lambs satisfied with milk. And the faces of all the angels in heaven shall be lighted up with joy, and the earth shall rejoice, and the righteous shall dwell upon it, and the elect shall walk thereon. Again, the righteous and the elect. And after those days, in the place where I had seen all of the visions of that which is hidden, for I had been carried off in a whirlwind, and they had borne me towards the west, there mine eyes saw the secret things of heaven that shall be, a mountain of fire, and a mountain of copper, and a mountain of silver, and a mountain of gold, and a mountain of soft metal, and a mountain of lead. When I asked the angel who went with me, saying, What things are these which I have seen in secret? And he said unto me, All these things which thou hast seen shall serve the dominion of his anointed, that he may be potent and mighty on the earth. And that angel of peace answered, saying unto me, Wait a little, and there shall be revealed unto thee all secret things which surround the Lord of spirits. And these mountains which thine eyes have seen, the mountain of iron, and mountain of copper, and mountain of silver, and mountain of gold, the mountain of soft metal, and the mountain of lead, all of these shall be in the presence of the elect one, as wax before the fire, and like water which streams down from above them. And they shall become powerless before his feet. And it shall come to pass in those days that none shall be saved, either by gold or by silver, and none be able to escape. And there shall be no iron for war, nor shall one clothe oneself with a breastplate. Bronze shall be no more service, and tin shall not be esteemed, and lead should not be desired. For all these things shall be denied and destroyed from the surface of the earth, when the elect one shall appear before the face of the Lord of the spirits. see where we're at here. Okay. There mine eyes saw a deep valley with open mouths, and all who dwell in the earth and the sea and the island shall bring to him gifts and presents and tokens of homage, that the deep valley shall not become full. And their hands commit lawless deeds, and the sinners devour all whom they lawlessly oppress. And the sinners shall be destroyed before the face of the Lord of the spirits, and they shall be banished from the face of his earth, and they shall perish for ever and ever. For I saw that all the angels of punishment abiding there and preparing for the instruments of Satan. And I asked the angel of peace who went with me, for whom are they preparing these instruments? And he said unto me, They prepare these for the kings and the mighty of the earth, that they may thereby be destroyed. And after that the righteous and the elect shall cause the house of his congregation to appear henceforth. They shall be no more hindered in the name of the Lord of the spirits. And these mountains shall not stand as the earth before his righteousness, but the hills shall be as a fountain of water, and the righteous shall have rest from the oppression of sinners. And I looked and I turned to another part of the earth, and I saw there a deep valley with burning fire. And they brought the kings and the mighty that began to cast them into the deep valley, and there mine eyes saw how they made these instruments, iron chains of immeasurable weight. And I asked the angel of peace who went with me, saying, For whom are these chains being prepared? And he said unto me, These are being prepared for the host of Azazel, so that they may take them and cast them into the abyss of complete condemnation. And they shall cover their jaws with rough stone, as the Lord of spirits commanded. And Michael and Gabriel, Raphael and Phanuel shall take hold of them on that great day, and cast them on that day into the burning furnace, that the Lord of spirits may take vengeance on them for their unrighteousness in becoming subject to Satan, and leading astray those who dwell on earth. And in those days shall punishment come from the Lord of the spirits, and he will open the chambers of waters which are above the heavens, and the fountains which are beneath the earth. And all the waters shall be joined with the waters which are above, and the heavens is the masculine, the water which is beneath the earth is feminine. And they shall destroy all who dwell on the earth, and those who dwell under the ends of the heaven. And when they have recognized their unrighteousness, which they have wrought in the earth, then by these shall they perish. And after the head of the days repented and said, In vain have I destroyed all who dwell on the earth. And he sware by his great name, Henceforth I will do not so to all who dwell on the earth. And I will set a sign in the heaven, and this shall be a pledge of good faith between me and them forever, so long as heaven is above earth, and in this accordance with my command, which I have desired, to take hold of them by the hand of the angels of the day of tribulation and pain. Because of this, I will cause my chastisements and my wrath abide upon them, saith the Lord of spirits. Yea, who dwell on the earth, ye shall have to behold mine elect one, how he sits on the throne of glory, and judges Azazel and his associates and all his hosts, in the name of the Lord of spirits. And I saw the host of the angels of punishment going, and they held scourges and chains of iron and bronze. And I asked the angel of peace who went with me, saying, To whom are these who hold the scourges going? And he said unto me, To their elect and the beloved ones, that they may be cast into the chasm of abyss of the valley. And then the valley shall be filled with the elect and the beloved, and the days of their life shall be at an end, and the days of leading astray shall not henceforth be reckoned. And in those days the angels shall return and hurl themselves in the east upon the Parthians and the Medes, and they shall stir up the kings, so that a spirit of unrest shall come upon them, and they shall rouse them from their thrones, that they may break forth as lions from their lairs, and as hungry wolves among their flocks. And they shall go up and tread under foot the land of his elect ones. And the land of the elect ones shall be before them a threshing floor and a highway, but the city of my righteous shall be a hindrance to their horses. And they shall begin to fight amongst themselves, and their right hand shall be strong against themselves. And a man shall not know his brother, nor a son his father or his mother, till there be no number of corpses through their slaughter, and their punishment be not in vain. In those days Sheol shall open its jaws, and they shall be swallowed up therein, and their destruction shall be at an end. Sheol shall devour the sinners in the presence of the elect. And it came to pass, after I had saw this, that I saw another host of wagons, and men riding thereon, and coming of the winds of the east, from the west to the south, and the noise of their wagons was heard. And when the turmoil took place, the holy ones from heaven remarked it, and the pillars of the earth were removed from their place, and the sound thereof was heard from one end of the heaven to the other in one day. And they shall fall down and worship the Lord of spirits. And this is the end of the second parable. Alright, so very interesting. Very interesting. So let me show you where we're at here. We'll continue on next time. We've made it through the two parables. Next we have the third parable, fragment from the book of Noah. So we have a bit more. But I want to get through this whole book. And again, you could see there's the promise, the righteous and the elect. You see, we have this beast of Revelation that's down here. The beast of Revelation is not just one particular entity, because we're told the beast has many heads. 7 heads, 10 horns. When we look around and we see the grasp that this society or the world that has been created has, we come to understand the beast. We understand that part of the beast is the church, the Vatican, another part of the world government. We have the banking structures in there. We have the military-industrial complex. We have all of these systems that are supposed to be the guiding influences. These are actually have become the influences that are really kind of suppressing people, keeping people down. So what's going to happen is it's going to build to a head. The beast is going to get so out of control, but then humankind will have an opportunity to stand up. Humankind needs to reach in to remember their faith, because we're reminded that the beast only has so many days before he is taken down. And in all of the readings you see over and over and over that those who are causing the problems are going to be removed. So you need to just keep that in mind, keep the faith. Understand that all these bad things have been going on. It's just part of a script, part of a story that's unfolding. That there really is no death. That when we live and then we go from this life to the next one, we'll leave this place of existence to the next realm, and we'll understand that we're still alive. You know, maybe in the other realm, maybe they're just having a good old time as they're running back and forth, putting on some big production, some big play, and all the people are running there and they do their roles, and maybe we'll get to that point of just understanding and have a bit more fun with what's going on rather than getting all serious about everything in life. Because it just seems that seriousness just gets in our way. Because everything is so serious. The world doesn't need to be so serious. We need to have more fun, don't we? Laugh a little bit more, have a bit more fun, enjoy each other a bit more. That seems to be the important part. The other just, I don't know, just doesn't seem to be working for us. Over at In5D, here's an article from Sarah Starfire. It says how to shift your energy, and fits right in with the whole theme of what we've been talking about quite often. A realm is a planetary domain that exists on levels of dimensions. Because our soul is not limited and is limitless, it can travel to these realms to explore, learn, and educate. Our souls, I feel, can do this at right where we are, astral traveling, because of parallel universes. They exist in these realms, then pass the information on to us here. They do this because we are existing in one human form, but are here to help elevate the level of consciousness of other humans on Earth. We've heard some of these realms before. Incarnated angels, wise ones, elementals, and my favorite, star seeds. There are subcategories within Earth angels, and while it may be at times seem a bit fantastical, I assure you that once you discover your realm, the world all of a sudden seems to make sense, seems right. There are other realms that have not been discussed. These realms are the darker realms that people exist on. Just like everything in the universe, life needs to be balanced. With every fawn there is a tiger, with every seal there is a shark. With every birth of a child comes the death of another. It seems logical, then, that these dark realms, as I call them, do indeed exist as the polar opposites of Earth, angels as fallen angels. Recently, a fellow starseed saw tentacles coming out of a woman. I found this incredibly interesting because the woman was very into her ego, herself, and had a tendency to attach herself to others. Instantly, it made sense that she was channeling lower vibrational realms. And here's a couple examples: vampires, werewolves. And if you notice, these are lower realms, right? What are some of the things that are shown? TV series that are real big these days? TV series about vampires. TV series about werewolves. TV series dealing with black magic, witches, sorcerers. And then, of course, we get into the lower ETs, the trolls, the orcs. So we do a good part down here of scaring ourselves and continuing to put these lower level entities around us to be influenced by. We can change that. We can shift away from that. The good news is, start with something simple for the day. If you're walking down the street passing a stranger, throw a smile their way. Do this all day, and at the end of the day, go over your results. Did people respond positively? Okay, learn to let the ego go. Very important. It says no matter where you're going through, you're a beautiful, loving soul that needs to find some light in your life. With guidance and keeping a positive frame of mind, you will shift your energy, and you will notice that you are loved. You know, it's really that simple. You know, a lot of times when I have conversations with others, and you know, I'll do a lot of readings with people, things come up, ideas come up, people just really feel lost in the world with what's going on. They don't understand. They're trying really hard to do some things, but everything that they seem to be doing seems to be thwarted by something. They don't know what it is. And a lot of times people want to pinpoint things outside of themselves as if somebody else is doing this to them. The moment you do that, you put yourself in a victim mentality, that you're a victim to something, that someone's doing something to you. But when you really understand that what is happening to you is happening as an effect to something that you caused, then you take responsibility for your part in it. You've come to the table, so you're at least 50% part of what is going on because you chose to be there. Whether you remember it consciously or not, you're in this lifetime because you chose to be here. We all are here. And so as we go through and as we find these moments come up and this darkness comes up and we let go of it, we start to find the world becomes a bit lighter. And we all have this opportunity to let go of all of the darkness that we allow around us, to let it go, and to actually look at ourselves and realize our responsibility in all of this, that things aren't happening just randomly because the world hates us, because that's not true. Bad things aren't going on in our lives because we're a bad person. We just need to adjust how we're doing things, and when we do, it makes a difference. We change ourselves first, and then that changes the way in which the world responds to us, as opposed to wanting the world to change to us first. Because there, we just wait. But if we actually take a step to change ourselves, we're the ones who are taking action to make that happen. All right, here's our message for today. This comes to us from the angels.
The Angels.
August 30th, 2014, by Ann Albers.
The Angels.
My dear friends, we love you so very much. Be gentle with yourselves this week. Allow yourself to surrender to all that comes up within you. Try your best to accept everything that you feel. No matter what arises in your hearts, tell yourself, it is okay. I am allowed to feel everything. When you feel something you would normally judge, anger, sadness, jealousy, ask yourself one simple question: what do I need now? Because all so-called negative emotions are simply speaking to you. They are your soul whispering to you, saying, hello, I have something important to say. You have been ignoring me. Listen, dear ones, to the messages beneath the surface. When you accept your own feelings, you can realize that others are simply learning and growing too. Anger when projected at you, for example, has nothing to do with you. You may have triggered someone else's anger, but in truth it is theirs, just as your upsets are yours. Each one on the planet now is being asked to own all that arises within them as having value for themselves. Each one is being asked to dig a little deeper and look at the roots of their own feelings. You have done nothing wrong, dear friends. Eternally you are the light and love of God having a human experience. Even in your most difficult moods and life circumstance you are nothing less. Your so-called negative emotions are here to draw attention to the illusions that have held you bound, and the conditioning and beliefs that do not serve your soul's greatest truth. Welcome them when they arise and bring them into the light of your love. If you push them away, they will return until you find the gifts they are trying to offer you, but if you embrace them, you will not only free yourself of old illusions, but you will also allow the more painful emotions to give birth to new joy. God bless you. We love you so very much. The Angels.
Alright, nice message from the angels. Of course, it brings us to our meditation for today. Just go ahead, take a deep breath, and exhale. Take another deep breath, and exhale again. And another breath, and exhale. And just breathe in and out, and feel the easiness with which you breathe in and out. You don't even need to think about it. And yet the breathing continues. So you understand that life has a way of operating even when we're not thinking about it. And so we realize that our thoughts sometimes can get in the way of what is going on. When we think about our emotions, and we realize sometimes they can get in the way as well. And as we think of all the other aspects of life, we realize that there are many things that can get in our way. But we have the choice to allow that distraction to occur or not, depending on how we respond to it. So we just imagine moving through life, and no matter what occurs, we stay in balance. We imagine ourselves on a surfboard. And as we are riding the surfboard through the streets of the world, we find that we are hit by emotions, water, waves get rough. We find that the wind, the words, stir up and try to knock us off the board. And no matter what comes our way, we find ourselves staying in balance. Standing in that middle path of the hermit, holding the lantern high. And the more we do this, the easier it becomes, till we realize there was never anything to be afraid of, never anything out there to hurt us or stop us, just our own perceptions in our way. So as we move past all of these blockages that we put up, as we understand that we are part of a big, big, big picture, and we are playing our part, we begin to relax and let go of all of the importance we think that we need to place on things. And we need to realize that life will show us what is important. All we need to do is pay attention. So as we go through the world today, let's just pay attention to what is important. Let's look at the world and begin to discern the things that we know are right from the things that we know are wrong. Let's look at life in a way to understand how it is that we can change. And the first thing we must do is learn to not get caught up in all of the mess. And once we learn how to walk through the world without getting stuck, then we simply share that with others. so they can also walk without getting stuck. And on, and we share and we help each other. Contemplate the words of today's affirmation. I welcome today's events joyously. I welcome today's events joyously. So just imagine yourself traveling through life today, joyously welcoming the events that occur in your life. Just looking for all of the good moments in life and the moments in life to move us on to the next good moment. And let's just think positivity for the world. And as we think the world is a positive place, let our subconscious mind just be on that journey of looking for the positivity today. And let's bring our conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1, coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale. And open your eyes. That's it, my friends. That's our show for today. Thank you very much for being here. I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow, Wednesday, we're going to continue on with Atlantis. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, have yourselves an awesome day. I love you. Keep loving each other. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace. I'm out of here.